The New York Knicks entered the 2023-24 NBA season riding high on optimism. Their off-season moves were supposed to elevate them into serious contention, but despite strong individual performances and flashes of brilliance, they ultimately came up short in their 125-108 Game 6 loss to the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. The loss was a punch in the gut to a franchise that was hoping to finally end its championship drought. If you want to understand why they fell short, you don't have to look further than the summer of 2022, an off-season that brought them one major piece and one glaring mistake. The blueprint that went awry. The Knicks were built on a theory, but unfortunately, that theory didn't translate into playoff success. The centerpiece of their 2022 offseason was the signing of Jalen Brunson, who was expected to be the guy to lead the franchise back to prominence. And he did, becoming the undisputed leader on the floor, scoring at will and controlling the tempo of the game. However, as it often goes in the NBA, there was more to the puzzle than just a single star, and the Knicks' fatal flaw became clear. They lacked the complementary pieces to surround Brunson with enough balance. Along with Brunson, the Knicks signed backup center Isaiah Hartenstein to a 2-year, $16 million deal. While Hartenstein was largely an afterthought when the deal was made, his importance became apparent throughout the season. Hartenstein's presence as an underrated defender and a rebounding machine gave the Knicks much-needed stability. He was the unsung hero behind their dominant offensive glass, ranking as one of the league's best on both ends. But as it turned out, Hartenstein's effectiveness made him too valuable for New York to hold on to. The Knicks signed him to a short-term deal, which ultimately doomed them when the Oklahoma City Thunder swooped in and signed him for $30 million in 2024. Had the Knicks given him a third year or carved out more cap space to secure him with a larger raise, they could have kept him long-term and perhaps avoided the mess they're in now. It was a classic case of trying to secure a bargain at the expense of long-term planning. A missed opportunity. When Hartenstein left, the Knicks were forced to adjust their roster. With Mitchell Robinson set to miss a chunk of the season due to injury, New York faced an even bigger challenge. Without a reliable starting center, they were forced to make a bold move, attempting to swing for the fences with a trade that would redefine their roster. They offered Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick for Karl-Anthony Towns. Improve the defense. They can double down on their defense, attempting to build a system that can hide the deficiencies of both Brunson and Towns. That would mean finding a way to offset their liabilities on that end without sacrificing offensive firepower. However, Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau has been hesitant to experiment with his rotations, and McBride has only played 82 regular season possessions as a starter. Thibodeau's reluctance to mix things up might be holding the Knicks back from exploring this potential solution. Is the answer trading Towns? If the Knicks are willing to trade Towns, there could be options on the table. The most talked about destination for Towns has been Phoenix, with reports suggesting mutual interest between the two sides. Towns would be an ideal fit alongside Devin Booker, particularly given their strong connection from their time in college. A Towns for Durant swap is a tantalizing possibility, but there are significant concerns about Durant's fit on the Knicks, especially considering his aging frame and the team's already crowded offensive setup. A Towns trade might also be appealing to the New Orleans Pelicans, who could use a floor-spacing center to maximize Zion Williamson's offensive game. The Knicks could potentially look to get back a package centered around defensive-minded wings and more depth. Conclusion: the Knicks need to act fast. The Knicks' window to contend is closing fast, and their fundamental roster flaw must be addressed if they want to make a serious run at the 2025-26 championship. Whether it's tweaking their defense, bolstering their offense, or pulling the trigger on a trade, something has to change. The pieces are in place for a strong roster, but as they found out against the Pacers, it takes more than just talent to make it out of the East. If they want to contend for a title in the near future, the front office will need to pull off a major move or make smart, calculated decisions. One thing is certain, the clock is ticking, and the Knicks can't afford to wait another year to figure it out. Whether it's fixing the chemistry with Towns, making a bold trade, or addressing their weaknesses elsewhere, the 2024 offseason will be the most critical in the franchise's recent history.